Somebody suing Future Motion? What does that mean for us as riders? What does that mean for you? What's with all the lawyers? Let's get into it. Nope, no intros here. Let's just get right to it. So there's a lawsuit against Future Motion from the Arnold Law Firm, and apparently it's a class action suit. And if you purchased or owned a Onewheel XR or Onewheel Pint, call or text the Arnold Law Firm at that number, which looks fake, and we'll discuss your legal options. Submit a confidential case evaluation form here. What does that even mean? Well, some people say that you're not big enough until you're getting sued. And that's kind of like a badge of honor. Well, let me tell you something. It's not a good idea here for us. Some of the comments that are on this post are like, that's like suing Budweiser for, wrecking my truck. Okay, I get it, but, this is not a good start to things. Like, this could snowball, because as the Onewheel gets bigger, the more the general public is going to adopt it. And unfortunately, the more that the general public gets into things, the dumber it gets, because as a group, we are dumber. I hate to say it. There are many smart people out there, but as a group, we are dumber. As me, recording a video right now with my phone not on vibrate. There's an example. This is the point. It's like, the more people that start riding these things, like the scooters when they first came out. At first it was cool, and then people started dying because people were riding around like drunk and just like la-di-da, no helmets. And then the terrible things happen. So what does this mean for us? I want to know what you think, because if you think about it, could they be sued? I mean, my board shut off. My board shut off riding through some, and not snow, but like, when the snow is like banked and there's only like a little bit left and it's all melting and it's just like a little bit, it's probably like, 2 feet long by like 6 inches high. And I kind of like clipped the side of it. Now on their ads, they're smashing the damn thing with a bottle of champagne. It's supposed to be water resistant, not waterproof. You shouldn't ride through the water, especially if it hasn't been badgered. But Badger doesn't have anything to do with the company. If you don't even know what I'm talking about, it's a whole separate third-party product that kind of like allows you to do more waterproofing stuff. But that's not something that Future Motion offers. I'm supposed to be able to at least ride through a little bit of frozen water. It's not even like it was like wet. And all of a sudden, my board just like shut off. And luckily, I was like athletic enough to like sort of ride it out and jump off of it. And I started thinking to myself, would I qualify as somebody who should call? Let me ask you this. How many of you out there right now have nosedived, as this said? If you look into the wording of this like advertisement for this lawsuit, it's pretty funny. The way causing riders to nosedive, as they say. How many of you have fallen off your board based on it shutting off? That's what I'm curious. Comment below. Has the board shut off on you and you fell off? Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of comments here that are, yeah, I've nosedived. Yeah, okay, but you probably, rode too hard. And I'm curious how many people think that they were not overriding. They did something like me, a situation they should have been fine in, and it just kind of like pooped out. Now, that's happened to me once in over 2,000 miles. I stand by the Onewheel. I love the damn thing. And I thought to myself, would I join this lawsuit? No. The short answer of it is I don't want to be a part of a group that is trying to take down a company or at least profit off of them because of a product that the customer assumes the risk of. Okay? I'm buying this product and I know full well that it could cut out. A car battery, how about this? Even better. Your tires could blow. And then all of a sudden, you go to the side and things happen. Now, you might sue the tire company, but you also know you're driving a car. Like, things can happen. You need to be ready, and you need to be riding like that. And so if you have a product where if something goes wrong, you're in trouble, you buy that product knowing that. There's no way for any company, let alone Future Motion, to make a product that's infallible of error. Things happen, especially with a self-balancing product. If you're getting on it, you're assuming the risk. I'm sorry. You can argue with me until you're blue in the face. You're wrong. Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear why I'm wrong, but I'm not. You bought the product. You know what's going on. If you did any research at all, you know that if you overexert the motor, if there's any bunch of things that could happen, but, wind coming at you, you going up a hill, hitting a bump, you weighing more than the other person that's commenting and saying, I never had a nosedive. Well, they're probably 145 pounds like me. Okay? Yeah, I can go different places than somebody that's 265 riding on a one-way. It's all an algorithm that kind of adds up to the motor can only handle so much. That's it. Okay? Now, with mine, we were just talking about, that's not what happened. And so those are the people I want to hear from. If you don't think it was the motor being overexerted, or you were going up a hill and it was a super windy day or whatever, you were literally just like doing something that you should have been able to do with no problem, and it still cut out on you. If that happened to you, please comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Because those are the people that I'm asking, do you want to be a part of that lawsuit? And I implore you to take the route of no. Not because I don't speak for the company. I don't speak for the company at all. I mean, I know I sit here with the Voice of Onewheel. That's a title for a show that we did for 3 years. And if you haven't checked that out, please, it's on the channel. Just go look at our channel and look under the Voice of Onewheel and check out all the interviews from pretty much anybody who's a part of the community from the beginning of it. It's a pretty awesome 3 years of talking to people and riders and vendors and all that have made this community what it is. So if you want to check that out, it's all there on our channel right here at TTR Studios. But no, I don't work for the company or anything. I've been very critical of the company, to be honest with you, but I do not think that they need to be sued. That's my point, and that's what I wanted to come on here today and say, is that if we bought something that could be dangerous if it fails, and then it fails, I'm not going to go cry wah. And I'm sorry if that's a controversial statement. I'm not trying to be aggressive, but this feels like tattling to me. It does. Cut off on me. I didn't know it was gonna. Everything should work perfectly. It says it's supposed to work. How can they market a product like that? How can you buy a product like that? That's my response to you. How can you buy a product like that? How can you get on something that if it goes wrong, you're in pretty much some trouble, right? Are you not ready for that? Or are you just going to kind of ride along like everything should be perfect and, they put this out there, so if it is, I get to sue. That's a crappy way to live, man. And you're not the person that should be on this product. I'm sorry. That's not how things go. This is a risky thing. That's like saying, I'm going to go play football, but if I get hurt, I'm going to sue the other team. No, you got into a dangerous sport, my friend. And this is a dangerous thing that if it goes wrong, something bad could happen for sure. You've also got 65-year-olds out there riding every day, taking it easy, riding cautiously. Me, when it cut out in the snow, I mean, not really snow, like the edge of some frozen water that shouldn't have done any kind of water damage or anything, but whatever, when it cut out on me, I was able to jump off it because I knew I was going through at least some sort of wonky situation, and I didn't just blow through it at 18 miles an hour leaning forward. No, I kind of slowed down. I sort of took it easy. And when it did cut out, I was able to just kind of ride it out and jump off of it. Not to, pat my own back or anything, but like I ride this thing within the back of my head knowing that something could go wrong at all times. Let me end with this to drive the point home. When I was 16, I was just getting my driver's license, and my friend who was the same age got into an accident. He was just sitting there at a stoplight, and the car behind him didn't see that he was stopped and just smacked right into the back of him. And when I told my dad this story, who is a driving instructor, his response blew me away. He said, yeah, well, your friend should have been looking in the rearview mirror. I was like, Dad, come on. Are you kidding me? He's at a stoplight. Like, you can assume at that point that, like, people are going to see you stop. And he was like, no, you can't assume anything because he was on the road and behind the wheel of a car. And 100% of the time, you need to be ready for whatever's coming. And I was just like, okay, Dad. Yeah, cool. Like you kind of do as a teenager. Like, yeah, I'm going to like 100% of the time, even at a stoplight, be like looking around at who could hit me. And you know what? Like years later, I do that all the time. If I'm at a stoplight and I see a car behind me, like I'm sitting there making sure they're slowing down. Okay, cool. And it's weird. It's not because of that story. It's just, it becomes a part of how you ride. And if you're looking at this video and you're like, dude, I'm not going to ride 100% of the time within the back of my head, like this thing could cut out at any point. Well, then you shouldn't be on this. Like, you shouldn't be. And I know I sound like my dad right now, but that's the honest truth. You just kind of need to have this sense of like, hey, I'm on a one-wheeled, self-balancing electric skateboard. if something goes wrong, I need to be ready. That's fair. I know it's tough, and you might not like to hear it, but I think that's the best way to go about it rather than suing when something does go bad. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Let's not start a fight. Let's just get into it. Let's dig in, because if this is the beginning of the lawsuits, then I can tell you it's the beginning of the end for the thing that we love so much. Don't let it happen. Comment below. Let me know what you think and subscribe for more. You know we're going to give them to you right here from TTR Studios.